From News Channel 4, this is Breaking News.
We're following breaking news right now. A chase happening right now near Britton and Broadway. Let's go to John Welsh and Bob Moore, Chopper 4. John?
Yeah, Jolene, right now we are just on Britton. We're just west of Broadway Extension, still westbound. As you can see, this car has been pursued by Oklahoma City. There's about 4 police cars behind them. We just picked them up at Eastern and Bryant here. The chase started a little bit farther southwest of our location here. The guy is pretty much going through stop signs, in and out of traffic here. At times he's been doing 40 miles an hour, and then the fastest speed that we've seen so far is about 80 here. So we're getting into a little bit of a congested area coming up on Western here off of Britton. So, it kind of bottlenecks down here to one lane as he crosses the railroad tracks. There's still some parking on the right side. So we'll just stay up here and see exactly what happens. Now he's north on Western here. So we're not exactly sure what started this chase or, anything other than that. But, you can still see we're north on Western here from Britton being chased by 4 patrol cars here, Jolene.
John, what kind of vehicle is that? Is that an SUV?
Yeah, it looks like a little Mercedes SUV. And that's, really all that we can tell at this time. When they were coming on East or on Britton, right by the TV station, we were able to kind of see the front and the sides of it. The windows are tinted, so we couldn't tell how many people are actually in there. So we're not sure at that at this time.
And so we just saw blow through a traffic light. Got up, you said, to about 80 miles an hour. Yep. Is that right? And going through another one right there.
Yeah, I guess we're being told there's one person inside here, Jolene. Yeah, 80 miles an hour here. Now he's obviously in incoming traffic coming through. Hefner coming up on 122nd here, still north on Western.
So north on Western, coming up on 122nd right now.
Yeah, he just blew through 122nd. No, I'm sorry. He just went through 112th, coming up on 122nd. Next, and you can see, well, you'll be able to see here in a second, he's slowing down a little bit. Cars are pulling off on the side of the road. 122nd, the intersection is pretty busy. It's green lights for left and right or eastbound and westbound traffic here. So either, he's going to have to dodge a car here, or hopefully they can get out of his way and he doesn't cause an accident. Now he's going to be east on 122nd from Western, Jolene, back towards Broadway Extension.
So he's going towards the Broadway Extension, he or she, whoever is driving that. And we can't tell how many people are in that SUV, is that right?
Yeah, say that one more time, Jolene.
We can't tell how many people are inside that vehicle.
No, we've been told that there's just one person inside there is what Steve Johnson told us at the desk here.
Oh,
Air 1 is on scene. You can just see he just
pole.
hit that power pole at Walnut and Walker.
122nd Walker.
About 122nd.
I'm sorry, Walker and 122nd,
okay.
Jolene.
It looks like they've got their guns drawn there. The driver can't get out.
Yeah.
Someone's coming out of the back.
There he goes. Yeah, apparently there's at least one person in there. He just came out of the back.
So officers surrounding that vehicle. One person out. Okay, it looks like they're dragging him out right now. Officers with their guns drawn.
Yeah, he was on his phone.
On his cell phone.
Yeah, obviously he came out of there with his hands up.
Uh-huh.
And then pulled the second hand down, and he was still talking on his cell phone here. So they're about to get him into custody.
Uh-huh.
Then they'll be able to see if there really is only one person in the car, Jolene.
And it doesn't look like he is helping them out at all. Okay, he's out of the vehicle now,
he's not
on the ground.
Yep, and one thing we're curious to see now is there going to be some power issues associated with knocking this power pole down. Thankfully, it didn't come down on the police officers there, but obviously there's going to be a little bit of a cleanup here.
Well, it's definitely not stable right now, and it looks like they are hitting the windows there to see if there's anyone else inside the vehicle and what's going on in there as they have the suspect on the ground. Again, this is 122nd and Walker, where a chase just wrapped up after the driver of that SUV hit a power pole, lost control while trying to make the turn there. and then crawls out of the passenger back window with his hands up. And John, you said he was on his cell phone and then really didn't help officers out by climbing out, so they dragged him out. Do they have him in?
Yeah, that's right. You
Okay.
know, obviously, in an accident like this, you expect to see some damage, you know, to the individual. Maybe he's injured. He just hit that telephone pole head or that power pole head on, knocked it clean, and then gets out of the back, you know. So,
But still with the cell
obviously,
phone to his
probably
ear.
wasn't wearing a seatbelt, and really kind of has no disregard for the police officers giving his commands. Come out of the car. He's still on a cell phone talking. So,
Sure. And it
a
looks like
crazy
they-
situation here. Luckily, nobody was injured.
And that's the good news here, because he blew through several intersections, running red lights, and they were weaving in and out of traffic, going about 80 miles per hour on city streets. And it looks like they've got him in handcuffs at the back of one of those patrol cars there. Again, this is near Northwest 122nd and Walker. Suspect now in custody, and they are placing him in the back of one of those police units. And we know they were looking inside of that SUV to see if there was anyone else inside, a passenger, or if that driver was by himself. It appears it was just the driver, who is now in the back of one of those police units.
Yeah, that's kind of what it looks like, Jolene. Obviously, they've been able to break the front windscreen or the windshield out. It doesn't appear there's anybody else in the car.
Good news here, nobody hurt. We're not sure about the driver, but obviously not hurt too badly as he climbed out of the back of that vehicle on his cell phone and now in custody in the back of the police unit there. And it didn't look like he hit any other vehicles. I don't know at what point you got in on this chase, but from what we could see, it didn't look like there was anyone hurt. He didn't clip any vehicles while weaving in and out of traffic. And it looks like he is now...
Yeah, Jolene, we didn't see. We picked him up, like I said, at about...
And it looks like we are...
At,
John, how's traffic right now?
Yeah, really, it's flowing pretty decently. It's funny you say that. Air One, I guess the police officer just asked them how traffic looked, and it's actually going pretty decent here. The westbound lanes are obviously closed down, but as far as eastbound lanes, there's still one lane. The far north lane is still open.
You know, and this is in the afternoon now, so there are a lot of people out and about as we saw some of that traffic. The driver weaving in and out somehow did not clip or hit any other vehicles, especially while going through some of those red lights that he went through, and then trying to make this turn here near Northwest 122nd and Walker. But that suspect now in custody. I believe we have a crew on the ground. Lauren Fultonberg is pretty close to the scene, and we'll be able to speak with him as soon as he gets there, John. But again, traffic looks like, well, I see an ambulance on scene. What is that suspect in the police car, or is he now in the back of the ambulance to be checked out? Looks like someone is...
I think he's still in the back of the police car, but I think they're probably gonna check him out. We've heard, and obviously this is not confirmed, but just radio traffic, that this might be a potential homicide suspect. So that might be the reason for him eluding police and starting this chase here. Obviously, as you can see, the ambulance just arrived on scene. At this time, I don't believe he's in the back there. We still think he's in the back of one of here. Mentioned that they might shut down traffic here, that they are going to shut down traffic, and it appears that they did at this time. Now they're just bringing everybody around through this neighborhood here on the south side of 122nd as they clean this investigation up.
Detouring traffic there. John Welsh and Bob Moore, Chomper 4. At the end of a chase near Northwest 122nd and Walker. We do have a ground crew that is arriving there shortly, and we'll have more information coming up at 4 o'clock. For now, we're going to send you back to programming.
Thanks for joining us on this Wednesday, the 31st of May. I'm Lance West.
And I'm Jolene Cheney. We begin here at 4 with a wild and dangerous chase through the metro streets.
That chase coming to a violent end near Northwest 122nd and Walker. And that's where we find News Channel 4's Lauren Fultonberg. And Lauren, the suspect is also wanted in connection to a recent murder.
His name's Chris Carter. It happened a couple weeks ago around Southwest 59th and Lee, but let me tell you about him as we show you what's happening right this second here on Northwest 122nd and Walker. A wrecker's just moved in and pulled this car away from the power pole that it had snapped clean off of its pole here on the corner house. You know, the utility crews are just starting to get to work here, and we're just starting to get to the cleanup phase of this. Take a look from Bob Moore Chopper 4, and we'll show you how it all happened. A car was traveling eastbound here. It had been trying to escape police officers for several minutes when it slammed head-on into that power pole. Believe it or not, nobody was hurt. The corner house, though, certainly surprised. They heard this, even though they didn't see what had happened. And now, as we're watching here, the cleanup is certainly underway. The second suspect in this murder, by the way, is still at large, even though there was only one person in the car. Police tell us, though, this person's arrest is at least a promising start in getting closure and solving this violent crime. We're live on Northwest 122nd and Walker. Lauren Fultonberg, Oklahoma's News Channel 4.